Welcome to Grade 9 Science class. For today, we're going to discuss Science 9, Quarter 1, Module 1, Respiratory and Circulatory Systems Working Together. After going through this module, you are expected to explain how the respiratory and circulatory systems work together to transport nutrients, gases, and other molecules to and from the different parts of the body. The respiratory system is a breathing system. It's a respiratory tree because it has branches that are connected to each organ. It allows you to do things like laugh, talk, and sing. The air enters and is filtered in your nose. The air then passes through the throat and into your windpipe, which is called the trachea. Your trachea splits into two branches called bronchi that go into each of your two lungs. The main organ of respiration is the lungs. These branches continue to split into smaller branches called bronchioles. Bronchioles is like a twig on a tree. The smallest branches end in thin air sacs called alveoli. Alveoli is like a cluster of grapes where the gas exchange happens. The muscle that is responsible for breathing is the diaphragm, and that's are the parts of the respiratory system. Respiration is always linked with breathing. They are related but not the same. Breathing, it is the air going into and out of your lungs. Breathing is an involuntary process. This means that it occurs without you having to think about it. On the other hand, respiration is the movement of oxygen from blood cells to tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to blood cells. How does the air go in and out of our respiratory system? Inhalation, the air enters to our nose, down to the nasal cavity, then to the pharynx, and then to the larynx, down to trachea, to the bronchi, to the bronchioles, and lastly to the alveoli, where oxygen comes in and carbon dioxide goes out. While in exhalation, the air that comes inside the alveoli will goes up to the bronchioles, then to the bronchi, it goes up to the trachea, and then to the larynx, to the pharynx, and to the nasal cavity, and lastly to your nose. Try observing your chest when you breathe. What have you noticed? Yes, your chest moves when you breathe. Why does it happen? It is actually the movement of your chest that makes your lungs expand and contract. Chest size changes when you breathe because of the actions of your rib muscles and your diaphragm muscles. Breathing is divided into inhalation or inspiration and exhalation or expiration. Breath in or inhale. Your diaphragm muscle contracts. When you inhale, your diaphragm moves down and expands the chest cavity. At the same time, the ribs move up and increase the size of the chest cavity. There is now more space and less air pressure in the lungs. The air pushes in from the outside where there is a higher air pressure. It pushes into the lungs where there is lower air pressure. Breathe out or exhale. Your diaphragm muscle relaxes. With regards to diaphragm and ribs, it returns to their original place. The chest cavity returns to its original size, greater air pressure and less space inside the lungs. The air pushes outside where there is lower air pressure. Like the lungs of the respiratory system, the heart of the circulatory system also plays a critical function in order to supply cells with oxygen and eliminate carbon dioxide. The circulatory system. It is also known as the cardiovascular or vascular system. It transports nutrients, respiratory gases, and metabolic products throughout a living organism, which permits integration among the various tissues. The circulation includes the intake and delivery of metabolic material throughout the organisms, and the removal of harmful byproduct and return to the environment. It is made up of heart, blood, and blood vessels. There are three major parts of the circulatory system. Number 1 is the heart. The heart function pumps the blood throughout the body. Number 2, the blood vessels. Blood vessel carries the blood throughout the body. There are three types of blood vessels. Number 1 is the arteries. The artery carry oxygenated blood away from the heart to the cells, tissues, and organs of the body. Number 2 is the veins. The veins carry the oxygenated blood to the heart. And lastly, the capillaries. These are the smallest blood vessels in the body, connecting to the smallest arteries to the smallest veins. It is the actual site where gases and nutrients are exchanged. Number 3, the blood. Blood carries the materials throughout the body. The flow of the oxygenated or oxygen-poor blood. From the other parts of the body, the oxygenated blood goes down to the vena cava, to the right atrium, to the tricuspid bulb, to the right ventricle, to the main pulmonary artery, to the left and right pulmonary artery, and lastly to the lungs. The flow of oxygenated or oxygen-rich blood from the lungs to left and right pulmonary vein, to left atrium, to the mitral valve, to the left ventricle, to the aortic valve, to the aorta, and other parts of the body. Types of circulation. The first one is the pulmonary circulation. The word pulmonary means pertaining to the lungs. It is derived from the Latin root word pulmo, which means lung. It moves blood from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart. The second one is the coronary circulation. The word coronary pertains to the heart tissue. It is the movement of blood through the tissue of the heart. And lastly, systemic circulation. The word systemic means entire body. It moves blood from the heart to the rest of the body, excluding the lungs. How do respiratory and circulatory systems work together? These two systems work together to circulate the blood throughout the body. Air moves to the lungs through the nose, nasal passage, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. Oxygen diffuses to the bloodstream and is transported to the left chambers of the lungs through the pulmonary veins. The function of the heart is to pump the blood through other parts of the body. As the oxygen diffuses to the cells use oxygen to break down sugar to release energy. As a result, carbon dioxide gases are produced as a waste material in the bloodstream. The carbon dioxide-rich blood is delivered to the right portion of the heart through superior and inferior vena cava. The heart pumps the blood to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. Carbon dioxide diffuses from the blood to the alveoli and travels out the body through bronchioles, bronchi, trachea, larynx, pharynx, nasal cavity, and nose. These processes continue as we breathe air in and out. As the heart pumps blood, without these coordinated functions of the respiratory and circulatory system, humans will surely die. This is all about the lessons respiratory and circulatory system working together. I hope you have learned something for today's lesson. See you again on Thursday. And goodbye. Thank you.